what you notice as you look around at this mystical place.
It's an oak tree, and it's a huge oak tree, and I'm being safe because I'm underneath all the leaves.
Mm-hmm. Are you on the ground?
I'm on the ground.
Are you standing or sitting?
Sitting.
Tell me more. How big is the tree? How big around is the trunk?
It's probably 100 times bigger than me.
Wow, so it's huge.
It's huge, and there's a light that comes through underneath.
A light from underneath. Can you tell me more about that?
It's the sun that's coming underneath the tree.
Oh, wow.
And it's warming me up.
And how does that feel in your body?
It feels safe.
Where do you feel it warming?
On my right side.
Tell me more about that.
It's warming up my right shoulder.
Great. So let's keep talking about this. This is really common. Often spirit comes in immediately to start doing energetic healing. And as you noticed right as the session was beginning to start, you're more than ready for this session. So I think things are happening really, really fast for you. Tell me more about the sensations you're feeling on the right side and any shifts or changes that occur.
I feel tingling and like a warm liquid rushing to the area.
Great. And where all do you feel it? Like how big of a circumference? Like the size of a dinner plate? Or are you feeling it more than that or less than that?
About the size of a dinner plate.
Okay. And you feel tingling in and around the space?
Deep inside.
Okay. Do you feel that you can allow that and continue to explain the mystical place that's around you? We can also pause for you to be here and breathe if you need.
Now the sun's going down, but the warm feeling is still on my shoulder.
Very good. And tell me more, what do you mean by the sun is going down?
The creatures are coming to hang out with me
Tell me about that.
at nighttime so we can protect each other. Birds and lizards. And then they're knitting a bed for us.
All right, just keep describing and anything and everything you're seeing and what's happening.
And sleeping underneath the tree.
And the bed that's been knitted?
Yeah.
What was it knitted out of?
Sticks and leaves.
Is it comfortable?
Very.
Is anyone resting with you?
Birds.
What kind of birds? What do they look like?
They're all different colors. They're small.
Anything or anyone else resting with you?
No.
The insects went away after making the bed?
Yeah.
And what are you experiencing now as you smile?
I said this is comfortable. Bird said that's what a down comforter feels like.
Oh. Do you have one of those at home?
No.
Do you need to get one?
Maybe.
And tell me what else is happening as you rest. Are you feeling any other sensations or noticing anything else?
Noticing a connection underneath me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like pulling me deep into the center of the earth.
Okay, let's trust that. You feel safe?
Very.
I call this a soul spiral. This happens sometimes too, where you're taken in this spiral, like down energy, down into the earth for healing and all kinds of things. Just tell me everything that you notice and experience.
This magical place, it's not on the earth, it's above the earth.
Did you say above? Okay.
And it's like on a platform.
What do you mean by a platform?
Like an area of dirt and leaves and trees. And there's a piece underneath me, a small piece, like a root for my lower back. And it's going down to earth.
And what do you feel in your body?
I feel weightless.
Do you notice any sounds or smells at all in this experience?
I smell lily in the valleys.
Do you see them?
I do.
Tell me about that. Are there a lot of them?
I think so. It's kind of at a distance.
Do you feel like you'd like to connect with them since you can smell them?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. Let's take you over to these lily of the valleys, which are very mystical and have a lot of healing properties. And even if they're a flower you're somewhat familiar with in this space, they're magical healing flowers. So how do you receive the healing from these lilies? Is there something you have to do?
I have to walk over the bridge. I'm scared I'm gonna fall.
That's okay.
But it's a bridge made out of flowers, and I just have to trust that I'll be safe.
Well, there's no hurry. Are you at the side of the bridge yet?
Yeah.
And you haven't yet crossed?
Yeah.
Let's just take a moment here and breathe. And we're still in the experimenting phase to see what works for you in this session. So I'm just going to try an experiment. I'm going to ask for a special spirit guide to come and be with you. You start to feel a presence beside you, and they're with you now. Who or what is visiting you?
The bunny.
Okay. Tell me about the bunny.
The bunny's standing to the right side of me. He's a large bunny. He's not saying anything, but he's looking at me and assuring me everything will be okay.
Why don't you just try asking him, why am I feeling so scared about crossing this bridge? Let's see if he has an answer. He might or he might not.
He said it's because of the fear of the unknown.
Try asking him, why do I have such a strong fear of the unknown?
Because when I was a kid, I never knew what to expect.
Tell me more about that.
Never was a safe place for me to express who I am.
And does the bunny have any more to say about that? You could ask it, how do I learn to trust again?
Bunny says to let go and I will be safe.
Let go of what?
Trying to control.
Ask, how do I do that?
I never take any chances because I'm afraid that I'll fail.
What else does he want to tell you about this?
You're braver than you think.
Do you know that?
Did you know?
Does it feel true now?
Somewhat.
Yeah, well, it's a process. Trust is like building a muscle at the gym. That's what always comes through in these sessions. When I ask, how does someone learn to trust? They say, well, it's a practice. They have to practice trusting little things on a daily basis. What else does the bunny want to tell you? Could just ask, what else can you tell me about this to help me in my healing and learning to trust?
You have so much beauty to give in trusting people is okay. They deserve to receive some of your beauty.
Do you want to ask about if you need to do some energy protecting or something of that nature to be able to start connecting with people? What else is coming through from the bunny, if anything?
Spend more time outside.
Time how? Time where?
Little trees and grass.
Do you want the bunny to cross the bridge with you? Can you ask him if he'll come along? Are you feeling ready yet? All right, so there's no hurry at all, and you're doing great. So just tell me all the experiences as you start to cross the bridge of flowers.
Together, and then I trust that I can walk. And we start walking over the flowers, and then we decide to slide down one of the hills.
Tell me more about that.
It's almost like a roller coaster. We're sliding down lots of flower hills.
Are there lots of lilies here?
There's a lot more than I thought in the beginning.
And can you describe the lilies to me? Like, how many petals do they have?
They're too small to see, but it's like a tunnel. We're sliding down, and it's surrounding me.
And are you still sliding down the tunnel now?
Yeah.
It's pretty long. Where do you think it's going?
Not sure.
All right, well, just trust that. It might be taking you into a past life or something else that you need to see for what you're asking today. Just let me know what happens. Are you out of the tunnel yet?
I'm out of the tunnel.
What are your first impressions as you look around?
I can't see anything. It's dark.
Tell me more about that. Is it like pitch black dark, or do you see some colors or any flecks of light?
It's kind of gray, and the grass is really long.
What do you mean by gray? Like, is it at nighttime,
night.
or is it different kind? Okay. And so you're getting a sense of really tall grass, like all around you, or
Just patches.
okay. What's in between the patches?
There's it's like a marsh area, and I have to jump from one marshy grass area because there's water around. So I'm just jumping from one to the next.
And how are you feeling right now? Like, is this pleasant? Is it unpleasant? Are you
Just neutral.
okay?
Yeah.
So you're jumping from marsh to marsh, so to speak. Do you notice anything else, or any sounds or creatures or any structures anywhere near you that you can tell?
There's no river, just a small river next to me on my left side. But I just hear some birds. I can't really see them, but I hear them.
And does anything change as you're jumping from patch to patch?
So the grass is getting shorter, and now I can walk over it. It's kind of burnt. The grass is kind of yellow, and I can walk straight through it, and then it's gonna bring me to a cabin.
Great. Tell me about the cabin.
It's made of logs. And it has a chimney with smoke.
Does it feel familiar to you?
Yeah.
Okay. What else do you notice?
I noticed 2 children playing outside.
And tell me about them. Take your time and breathe.
I think they're twins.
Girls, boys, or one of
One
each?
boy and one girl. They're so happy.
And what are you feeling right now?
They're so happy. I'm happy that they're so happy. That they're so kind. The little boy just gave me a flower.
What kind of flower did he give you?
It's a small pink one with lots of different petals. And then when I picked it up from him, it just grew in size.
It's important to receive from others. It does grow and expand us when we make those right connections. What else are you noticing about this boy and girl? Do you feel a connection to them in any way?
I feel connected to them.
Yeah, this cabin is most likely a past life experience, a place that you once lived in a different life. So I'm going to ask you to go inside the cabin if you can and just tell me everything you notice once inside.
In the kitchen.
What's in the kitchen?
Their mother.
Okay.
It was like she was expecting me. She said, I thought you were going to be here earlier, but I'm glad you're here now.
Wow, that's powerful. Ask her why she thought you'd be here earlier.
Because I was just going to town.
Maybe ask her how she and you know each other.
We're sisters.
Oh, okay. And you live nearby? And perhaps you were visiting her on the way to town?
I live on the same property as she does.
Okay. Tell me more.
I look out the window of the cabin, and then I can see where I live. It's like in a dome. It's a huge dome. It's a white dome, and it has a chimney also. I can see my little girl.
Where is your little girl? Is she one of the twins or is this somebody new?
It's somebody new. She's sitting on the floor.
Inside your sister's cabin?
No, she's in the igloo.
Oh, I see. And what's she doing?
Just drawing on the floor.
And what emotions are you feeling in seeing her?
So much love. She's so beautiful.
Tell me more. I'm just gonna get some tissues in case you need them. They're right here by you if you need them.
And then I went to the igloo and she screamed, "Mommy," and came and hugged me. She wants me to come play with her while she draws.
And do you?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
And they got the mattress on the floor and she's got her coloring supplies and she's coloring, she's drawing me.
And what happens next?
Fall asleep.
And you're both sleeping now?
She's awake.
And what are you doing?
Just caressing her hair.
Do you know her name? It's not important, but do you get a name?
Now I don't know her name.
And also not entirely important, but do you have a sense of what time period it might be? Interesting.
1940s.
Okay, good. I'm going to move you forward or backward in this life that you're viewing right now to a time and place where something important is happening, something significant is happening. You're there now. Tell me your first impressions.
Yeah, come. Can you repeat what you just said?
Yeah. So you're in the igloo and your daughter has fallen asleep. I'm going to move you forward or backward in the same life that you're viewing to a time and place where something important, something of significance is happening. You're there now. Tell me your very first impressions.
There's the flood.
I do want you to know you don't have to relive or feel anything. You can experience these things as an observer. Tell me about the flood.
The flood came through and took all my family. I can see them taken away from me, this flood.
Your sister and her children,
Yeah.
your daughter too. Were there others? Are you getting a sense you had more family or maybe a husband or anything?
There are others. I just can't identify who they are.
That's okay. It means it's not important. And what do you do? How is it that you survived the flood?
I just happened to go up the hill from the igloo at that time, but they were still down, so they got washed away.
What happened that there was this flash flood?
There was just rain for days, and then it finally accumulated, and and took that area where we lived.
So it kind of happened suddenly. There wasn't warning.
Suddenly.
All right, let's move you just a little bit forward right after the flood. Tell me about that. What's happening? First impressions.
I'm walking up this hill. So, kind of steep, but it's not hard to walk up the hill. And I come to this fork in the road and I have to decide which one to take, and I'm having trouble deciding which one I want to go on.
Can you tell me more about the decision? Or do you have any sense of like what you're trying to possibly decide?
Because I'm afraid I'm going to choose the wrong one.
Do you have any idea what each choice would include?
And I'm hearing my inner thoughts at that time was, I'm hearing this will determine your next lifetime, and I just don't want to choose the wrong one.
Okay. Are there any clues as to which which path would go where?
Not exactly, but I feel like the one in front of me is the thickest, and it looks most welcoming, but I'm afraid that it's trying to set me up, like it's a trap. Like as soon as I walk in the lush field one, I'm gonna drop off.
And what is the other one? There's just two paths?
3.
Oh, there's 3. So there's straight ahead and 2 to the sides.
Yeah.
All right, tell me about the other 2 paths.
The one to my left is thin, and it doesn't have much grass on it. But then the one to my right, it's changing. It was thin, but now it's getting thicker, and it has like a covering over it of wood.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would take that one.
Yeah, sometimes we're just taught that we need to just pause and trust and breathe. So what's happening to you right now, I believe, is you're being taught how to trust your path again. And so you took a moment and you looked at each path, but in taking your time, that one started to invite you. Have you already chosen that path and are moving along it, or what's happening now?
I'm starting to walk.
All right, just tell me anything and everything you notice along the way, left side, right side. What's the path made of?
It's made of dirt, but it's kind of turning into sand.
Mm-hmm.
It's firm sand. It's easy to walk through.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I'm seeing all of different tropical birds, like a toucan
Mm-hmm.
and some monkeys.
So turning into maybe a little jungle like?
Yeah, like a jungle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mixture of sand and dirt, but it's warm on my feet.
Are you able to see your feet?
I can. Yeah.
Tell me, are they dirty all over or just on the bottom?
They're not dirty all over.
Are they sandy?
They are sandy.
Do they look like women, men, or children's feet?
They look like a man's foot.
Okay, tell me about that. I guess that they look a little larger.
They look wider.
Mm-hmm.
bigger.
All right, let's trust that. As you look up from your feet at your body, can you get a sense of what you might be wearing?
I'm wearing cloth. Cloth, like around, tied at my waist.
So is this starting to seem a little tribal of sorts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you carrying any?
I'm carrying an arrow, but it's long and thin.
An arrow or a spear?
A spear.
And tell me more about the spear.
It's long and heavy, but not heavy enough to throw it.
Mm-hmm.
It has a very sharp tip. And then the back it has 2 areas off the end, so that when I spear an animal, that I can easily pull it out of the animal.
Mm-hmm.
It has ridges on it.
Anything else you notice that's significant as you walk the path?
There's a few of us, like, in the same tribe. And we're just walking and hunting also.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to ask you to go to the place that you live. You're there now, standing outside of it. Tell me your first impressions.
It's one large area.
Like a community thing, or?
Yeah. It has, it's made out of mud and sticks, and in the center, it's tall, and it goes up to a point, and then as it comes down, it gets wider at the base, and there's a bunch of people inside.
When you say a bunch, 10, 20, more, give or take, if you were to guess?
Maybe 20.
Okay. All ages or?
Different ages.
Okay, men and women, children?
Yes.
Okay. What are they all doing?
They're doing different things. One is sweeping, one is sleeping, one is washing some chicken and plucking the feathers.
And just how do you feel as you look around? What do you sense or notice?
How peaceful everyone is.
Mm-hmm. Does it seem like everyone is kind of a tight-knit community working together?
Yeah.
What else do you feel or notice as you look at this communal living space?
All the different colors of the clothing that people are wearing.
Well, tell me more about that. What is
Different patches, like red and blue and orange patched into like a dress for somebody.
So there is actually cloth and textiles?
Yeah.
Are you getting a sense of a time period if you were to guess?
I don't know.
That's okay. It means it's not important. Does it feel far back in time? Because we have cultures like that on the earth now.
It doesn't feel too far.
All right, so I'm going to ask you to move forward or backward to a time where there's information, probably still within this life that you're viewing, this tribal life as a man. You're moving to a time or place where something significant, something important is happening. You're there now. Tell me your very first impressions.
I wasn't listening. Can you say it again?
Sure. Was something happening at that moment that you want to
No,
talk about?
I was just like talking to the people.
Yeah, well, tell me about that real quick.
I was asking if they wanted me to go hunt more or if they're good, and then I was hugging a couple of the children.
And what did you feel your connection was to the children?
Just, they weren't my children. But, I was feeling just happy because they trusted me, and I'm glad that they could come up and trust me.
And as you're here with these people, do you get the sense that anyone, or you could ask, are any of these people your immediate family?
I have a brother there.
Does he seem older or younger than you?
He seems the same age as me.
Okay.
I don't really know if we're twins, but if we're not, then only a couple years difference, and he's older.
And how do you get the sense he's your brother? Was it just a knowing, or did
I
somebody...
just asked.
Okay.
I said, where's my brother?
And who answered?
And my brother.
Okay. How did he let you know he's the one?
He just, I'm not sure if we speak English, but in that language, he said, I'm over here full.
Do you want to ask if you have more family around?
Just us.
Okay, what happened to your family? Why is it just you now with your brother?
They were killed.
How were they killed?
Someone killed them.
Like another tribe?
Like another tribe, yeah.
And who all from your family was killed?
Their mother, their father, their sister. My brother's crying because he said it should have been him instead of my sister.
Was that true?
No.
Why is it not true?
Because my brother and I, we need each other.
Are you able to tell him that in this moment and give him some peace?
Okay. He says I'm the strong one, but he's the strong one. He helps me develop my own strength.
Try asking him if he is in your life now as Tammy.
He is
Who is he?
my brother.
Take your time. There's no hurry to move on. Just tell me more about that when you can.
I'm angry at my brother.
Why?
Because he never reaches out to me, and I reach out to him. And we were so close growing up. We were like twins. And I miss him. And I've asked him to reach out to me, and he doesn't.
why don't you try asking him now in this tribal life why he doesn't reach out to you, because this is still his soul. His soul is still here with you because we're able to be in multiple places at once. So even though he's alive on the earth, this is his soul now that you're speaking to. Let's just see if we get an answer when you ask why.
He just says he doesn't want to bother me.
Do you want to ask him more about that?
Just telling him that you're not bothering me and I need you. My brother and I have had multiple lives together. It's just this is the first lifetime. He's been some distance, so it's hard.
Yeah. Is not wanting to bother you the only reason for the distance? Because I sense there's something more.
I'm not sure. Let me ask.
Okay.
People, the women that he's had in his life are pulling him down.
Or what?
Pulling him down.
Oh.
It's like he has this, he has he's been yelled at by the women in his life. And so he's telling me he's a shell of the person that he used to be.
Is there something you can do? You can ask him to help support and reconnect, because it sounds like he needs his connection with you as much as you are wanting it with him.
He said just to reach out to him. Keep reaching out to him.
And does this feel better now that you understand more of what he has going on and why? Are you able to release the hurt over it and be the bridge that literally reconnects the two of you?
Yeah.
It frequently takes a woman to do it anyway. Men often need help. Is there more you want to ask him or speak to him about in this moment?
Let me just ask him if there's anything else that he needs.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Do you feel complete in talking to him?
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like there might be more in this life you're viewing as this tribal life as a man. I'm going to ask that you move forward or backward in this life to a time or place where something significant, something important is happening. You're there now. Tell me your very first impressions.
It's when my wife gave birth. And I'm sitting with them. And it's our son. And I can hear him crying, and she's crying, and I'm kissing her, and I'm kissing the baby also.
Does everything seem okay?
Yeah.
There aren't any complications. She's healthy.
She's healthy.
The baby's good.
Yeah.
What else do you notice in this moment of becoming a father?
We're both fairly young, like in our early 20s.
And are you still in that tribal life?
Yeah.
Okay. feel good, like everything will be fine, you'll be able to provide all those things?
Yeah, I'm just teaching my little boy's a toddler. I'm teaching him how to make various little instruments. Not a spear because it would be too dangerous for him, but making like a fake one out of pieces of wood and a stick, so he has his own.
Then what happens?
And he's 5 years old. Not sure where my wife is. We're walking into an area where it's a division of 2 different tribes, ours and a different one. But we wanted to go there because that's where all the fruit is plentiful. So we want to pick some fruit. And my son is running ahead of me. And then my wife is to the right, and she runs to get at him. And as she's running, they get attacked by the other tribe. But for some reason, it's not tragic.
Are they harmed?
Yeah, they were killed. But for some reason, it feels very peaceful.
Well, that's okay. Again, we don't have to feel the emotions in these things, and sometimes we don't. It's more of a, kind of looking back at a story. So tell me more about that. Do you have a sense of why it feels peaceful?
Because I feel like we led a very authentic life. We were very happy, and we had a beautiful son. And we were just so happy. And it feels peaceful.
Well, in this life also, you'd already lost a mother, a father, and sister. It sounds like it's a life where death is almost just like an expectation, for lack of better words. Like people die frequently and often in these kinds of lives.
Yeah.
Do you feel that because of the nature of the life, there was more ease or acceptance of death?
Yeah.
What else are you picking up on or noticing?
Just that it's getting cooler and dark. But interestingly, normally I would feel scared, but I don't.
Do you know what's changed?
My body is telling me that I've grown so much.
Grown in this life that you're viewing?
No, just from the start of where it began with you today.
Oh, yeah, you're having like decades, perhaps lifetimes of transformation in this moment. That's good.
He's teasing me, just saying, like, remember you were scared to walk on a flower bridge, and now you're in the middle of a vast forest. You have nobody around you. Do you feel safe?
that feel like in your body, just to be safe, to feel safe?
Just a lot lighter. I didn't really realize how heavy all of that fear, carrying that fear was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like clouded my vision. Wasn't able really to see anything.
Yeah, kind of like that quote, you can't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah. And now I can see far in front of me. Even though it's dark, I can see far anyways.
Well, it's only dark because it's the future. And
Right.
you have not yet arrived. Is the bunny still there?
And he left.
Where'd he go? Or how did he leave? Like hopped away or something else?
I think he hopped away. I was looking up and I think he hopped behind me.
Is he still there behind you or is he
No,
gone?
he goes back to the middle of the other valley bridge in case I need him.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So where are you now? Are you still in the tribal life, does it seem? Or have you
I
leapfrogged?
am. It's an opening.
What's an opening?
In the sky.
Mhm.
There's like a vortex sort of where it's blue and it has clouds. And I'm just kind of in between because it feels so good where I am and I feel lighter and I feel like no pain in my body. So some of me wants to stay there and just enjoy that.
Yeah, well, you can. You can be here and breathe. It could also be that the pain has actually left your body and isn't going to return after this session.
And everyone around me, all the tribe members are standing around me in a circle
Mm-hmm.
and they're turning into stone.
Interesting. How does that feel to you that they're turning into stone?
That's just confirmation that I'm done there.
Oh, good, okay. Do you feel you want to float up into that vortex?
Yeah.
All right, just do that and tell me about what you experience or notice on the way.
Just feel like a bird.
Mm.
I can fly anywhere I want to. Just flying around.
Mm-hmm. Are you a little bird? Are you a big bird? Are you something mystical? Or?
Nothing so mystical. Like a medium-sized bird,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm pretty fast.
Do you have to flap your wings a lot, or do you get
Not
to
really.
glide? And
I'm mostly gliding.
what do you see? Are you looking down, or are you mostly like looking around at the sky?
I'm just looking down. I'm just looking at the earth as I fly away from it.
Mm-hmm.
That looks so boring down there.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Or is it? Maybe it's way more magical than you've ever noticed before. So which is it? Is it boring, or is it your belief?
My belief.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more about that.
I'm just not exploring.
Mm.
I'm about exploring all the magic that is.
How and in what ways do you need to explore more?
I need to travel more.
What are you experiencing now?
I just feel like pulsating on the earth here.
You're still flying, but you can see feel the pulse?
So the bird is me flying, but also it's me here sitting with you.
And you feel the pulsing?
And then the bird bee is telling be here, you don't have to be one or the other, you could be both.
Do you need more information on that? How to do that or how to be that? Well, why don't you ask? How do I be both? What do I need to do?
Bird bee says simplify your life. What does that look like? Find places you want to explore. Don't you need money to explore? You do, but there's so much around you that doesn't need money.
Like what?
Traveling to parks. Open to travel to different areas with meaningful, that's more spiritual.
Adventures?
Yeah.
What more would you like to know about that?
I wanted to know where I need to, where I can travel, where it feels holy, where it might be a place I'm going to move to. It might be just somewhere to travel.
What do you want to ask for clarification?
I want to know where I want to explore life. What part of the world do I want to explore?
And is the bird still there to answer?
Bird is telling me that Central America, but I'm not sure if it's because I've researched Central America. I'm not sure.
But it's all connected, so if you've been researching Central America, that was already divinely connected by your soul. Okay, so Central America, anywhere else? Or will Central America lead to other open doors?
So I want to travel to Central America and Thailand soon.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to go now?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about it.
I just don't think I'm going to be able to fit on top of a little bird.
Well, maybe either ask about it or try. Maybe the bird will grow in size. Maybe it'll grow into something else that flies.
Let's just change it to an airplane.
Mm-hmm.
We just keep flying around. We're not landing anywhere.
It's okay. I'm going to try to ask the bird some of your questions because the bird to me seems to be representative of your divine self. And if it feels comfortable to answer in third person, I'd like you just to relax and let go and just let the bird speak, and we'll see how this goes. Asking the bird, Tammy has had this great fear of losing everyone in her life, and her closest people like Jeff and her mom and her dog are all getting older. Has she released this fear today, or is there more work that we need to do for Tammy in this moment?
Some has released, but we don't need to do any more work because it's going to continue to release.
Okay. Thank you. And was she having this great fear due to past life experiences?
Somewhat, because how everyone close around her was killed suddenly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then also fear from this life, also like her childhood and not knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
Is that part of it as well?
Right.
Okay. Does she need more healing from her childhood in this life as Tammy right now?
Not right now.
Okay. How can Tammy make more deep connections? It's something she's been struggling with. She's had a lot of breaches of trust. How can she do that and feel safe?
Just stay open and be more open-minded.
Mm-hmm. Is there tools or practices she needs to do to help her in this situation? Does she need meditation?
Needs meditation.
And what kind of meditation?
Kind of what we're doing today, just more longer periods.
Mm-hmm.
Something in the morning to start out the day.
And I know you said longer periods, but she's also busy. So what could her morning meditation practice look like? Is
15 minutes.
okay, so more of like a 15-minute morning journey, and then she needs
Something on the weekend that's longer
okay.
to rejuvenate.
Mm-hmm. What other self-care, self-love practices does she need at this time in her life?
I mean, it's kind of do so much already.
Mm-hmm. So maybe nothing's needed. That's an answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just bring forth the meditation practice.
Yeah, just make that more of a priority and just know that this is the thing that will help ground, open and align.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to talk to the bird about Tammy's body. She's having a lot of pain in her feet and no stability in her ankles. What is that about?
Just from not wearing any shoes for so many years.
Well, this has been like 15 years. Can this be healed today? Can it be worked on?
Yeah.
Can it be fully healed today?
Maybe not fully, but it can be worked on.
How much longer after this session will it take for her feet and ankles to heal?
It varies, but we can do like 75% today.
Okay, can you do that now, and can I continue to ask questions?
Yeah.
Okay, are there any other reasons for her feet and ankles? I was wondering if it had to do with a lack of trust or a lack of direction or a lack of maybe just like knowing her path. Am I right, or is there something else?
Hold on a second, let me ask the body, because
Sure.
the bird is going too fast.
It's fine. What do you mean going too fast? Speaking too fast or moving?
No,
or?
just moving too fast.
It's fine.
And I asked Buddy if it's from lack of trust in others. He's just got a dry sense of humor. He said, of course it does. What else would it be from?
I know, it's always so simple when we're in these sessions. They're like, why are you here? You already know the answers. But for some reason, us humans really struggle to trust the inner knowings. Okay, we'll ask Bunny if there's anything else you need to know about the reason, because 15 years of having foot and ankle pain is really serious, so we just want to make sure we're getting it all today, and that you'll receive the 75% healing, and that the rest will heal itself.
No, he just says that I'm open for the healing, so it's going to take place.
All right, well, let's move on to your digestive challenges. Ask about that.
He just says because I eat too much crap.
Okay, well, let's ask about that. What does your healthiest diet look like?
Healthiest diet would be eating a little bit of everything.
So a balanced diet?
Yeah.
What do you need more of? What do you need to incorporate more of into your diet?
Foods that ground me.
Do you know what those are, or should we ask what foods ground Tammy the most that she should incorporate moving forward?
Root vegetables. And some hearty soups.
That does sound really grounding. Anything else? Okay, it's usually pretty obvious what needs to be eliminated, like processed foods, preservatives, sugar, although I do believe a balanced diet, there's space to enjoy and savor the delicious foods of life. But is there anything else that Tammy is ingesting that is harming her that she needs to know about? Does Tammy need to change her belief system that eating sugar is bad for you?
Yes.
Is it true that ultimately, within reason, what we eat is more belief-based?
Yes.
Can we help realign and shift Tammy's beliefs now?
Yeah.
Will shifting her beliefs automatically change her digestion?
Yes.
Will all of her digestive issues change because there's multiple things going on with her digestion, or seemingly independent things? Like constipation, upset, not defecating fully. Are these all the same issue, or do we have any separate issues happening?
Between eating real foods and meditating, I will resolve the majority of my GI issues.
What about the rest, if it's the majority?
The rest will, because I will eat sugar and it upsets my stomach. Even though it's balanced, it might still upset my stomach.
And is that okay?
It's okay, it's worth it.
Yeah, I agree. Is the bunny or bird still there with you?
Yeah.
No? Okay. I'm going to keep asking these questions, and I'm asking that Tammy's divine higher self, as it's sometimes called, answer. Why did Tammy in this life have the experience where she was held hostage for 6 hours by another couple?
She didn't feel too highly of herself, so she needed to go through a traumatic experience in order to, it's like a rebirth. And I went through post-traumatic stress, and from there, it was almost like it reset my brain.
Interesting. And is that lesson and that experience complete, or is there still residual energy or trauma that needs healed, addressed, or worked on?
Nothing needs to be worked on, because from there, I started working on myself to develop my own self-confidence.
Very good. How can Tammy develop a mindset of abundance?
Stop looking outward for happiness and do what makes myself feel happy.
Do you know what that is?
Getting more animals or being around animals.
Mm-hmm.
Creating could be drawing or doing watercolors or painting, refurbishing old furniture.
Anything else coming through?
Just the whole theme of being out in nature.
Mm-hmm. That's a huge one. Everyone has that come through. Like, we are really doing a disservice to our bodies. I know your feet had to do with not wearing shoes, but the more we can be connected to the earth, sitting on the earth, time and nature, It's just so powerful. What about Tammy and the cortisol management? I know that cortisol will start to take care of itself with these changes she's making today. Is there more she needs to know about that?
Hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta go get the body again.
It's okay.
Just make sure I create time for meditations and I nourish myself with balanced food and reach out to others and have those connections.
And how about Tammy in her own time when she's outside of a session like this? Can she connect to Bunny or Bird? Is that like a good thing for her to do, to call it in when she wants some answers and connection?
Yeah.
Okay, and she'll already know how to do that, I assume, right? Because it's so easy for her today. All right, so this is a big one for a lot of people, and this has been a thing in my life as well, as far as binge eating when stressed and just having a poor body image. I mean, this is like most women, it seems. What can we know about that?
Well, a lot of these beliefs started when I was young because my dad, would say, don't eat anymore, you'll get too fat, no man will want you. So it developed from there. But I was thin my whole going through high school because I was very athletic. So my mom and other people wanted to get me into modeling, and so my whole self, I was getting attention because I was tall and thin, and everyone always said, you should be a model, you should be a model. So I got my identity as being thin, and I got attention from it. So that turned into, when I moved here, when I was 23, I started teaching fitness. And so it was socially acceptable to over-exercise to maintain a pretty thin frame. And then I got introduced to yoga, and I really got into that. And then I went to nursing school and actually I meditated a lot and still did yoga during nursing school. But for the last 10 years, I haven't really had a balance of everything. So of all my knowledge I have now of different things, I'd like to implement movement in my body so I don't feel stuck, whether that's swimming or walking without any pain anymore, doing yoga, more balanced everything. So it's almost like a metaphor for my life, right? So balance, I need a more balanced diet, but in reality, I need a more balanced everything.
Do you feel you have a clear understanding of all that?
I do now, yeah.
Is there anything else you want to ask in and around creating balance?
Let's see. Let me check.
Okay.
Okay. So being more spontaneous also. Because I'm turning down opportunities to connect with people
Mm-hmm.
because I'm doing my routine on the weekends. So I need to break away from my routine in order to accept these invitations.
Good. And do you feel clear on that?
Yeah.
Do you feel clear on when to say yes? Because surely you shouldn't just necessarily say yes to everything, right? Or
Yeah, I get it now. People, I saw a friend I hadn't seen in several years. He gave me his card. He's like, "Oh, I'd love to catch up."
mm-hmm.
But as I've gotten older, my routine has been a little OCD. I don't need to deep clean my living space every week. I can call him instead and we can connect. You know, because I have such a I live with a regimented person, Jeff, who's very important to me, right? And I've known him for several years, but in a way, as we all age, I think people do this naturally. You carve out a routine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm picking up his attribute, which is rigid. So I get up, I make some food, I do my laundry, I clean my room, I go to the gym, I go to the grocery store after the gym. It's very regimented.
Sure. So you need some freedom, fun, and wildness.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs that. Do you know that in kind of lightening up, I'm just going to call it that for lack of better words, that Jeff will be fine and happy for you? Or is there any kind of concern that if you change, it might somehow be upsetting to him?
Oh no, he just wants me to be happy.
Oh, good. So you have the freedom.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is all self-imposed.
Yeah, it always is. Your whole life is self-imposed. Which is why it's so easy to change it. Or I should say simple to change it. Not perhaps easy. Anything else you need to know or ask about creating balance?
Well, yeah. One thing I need to ask is about my living situation, because Lynette lives with Jeff and I, right? So we each have a room, and she stays outside, you know, and has like a little bed in the living room. And so with me growing over these past 10 years and kind of for the first time in my life, these past 5 years, I'm honoring who I am, and I'm very proud of who I am, right? But on the same respect, she has been an alcoholic her whole life. She'll go through periods of where she'll not drink and, you know, do well for herself. And I see someone suffering who doesn't do anything but work and sit on the sofa and smoke and stay on the phone. And so I harbor this resentment that I don't know if it's resentment, that's not the right word, anger maybe?
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
Right, because it's like this heavy cloud, and I've really stepped into who I am as a woman and as a nurse recently. So I just want to know if that's impacting me at a level, because I feel like it is. Every time I try to kick her out, per se, Jeff has the last say, like, one more chance, and it's his home. So I struggle with that.
Well, why don't you ask? Because if you feel like it's doing something, that means it is. And what clarity question do you feel? I feel like there's a few questions in this situation, but what's the first clarity question about Lynette you want to ask?
Well, we're going on vacation in a month, and I want to have some honest conversations with her when we're not working or tired from work. And I want to be able to ask her, what do you plan for your life, like other than just existing? She's so fragile. I've kind of talked a little bit in depth about her. She can't emotionally meet me in a deep conversation. But, you know, like, I've invited her places. She's, I want to have an honest conversation and say, other than existing, what do you want from life? You know, how your actions impact me.
Yeah, and maybe asking your bunny or bird or your own higher self, is that the best first step for Lynette, for you to have this conversation with her based on where she is in her journey?
Yeah, because she's so fragile that I kind of had to be a little bit, what do you say when you put on kid gloves with people?
Put on what gloves?
Kid gloves.
Oh, I don't know, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Just kind of
Like sugar
meet her at her
things.
level. Sure, yeah.
Because she's so, I don't know, fragile, I guess.
Yeah.
She gets her feelings hurt when, like, open and honest conversations almost feel like confrontation, maybe because she'd never had honest conversations before.
Yeah, what I'm picking up on is Lynette has a huge child wound where she stopped developing emotionally at a very young age, like I'm getting 6 or something. And that happens to a lot of people when they have a super traumatic childhood and event. They will literally stop emotionally growing and they will literally act like a 6-year-old child, basically. And it's not necessarily her fault, however, she's still responsible, and this kind of healing is still available for her as well. So what else do you want to ask about Lynette beyond having a conversation?
Well, I guess I can start there. I mean, I was just, because I've been, you know, dealing with her consequences of her addiction for quite some years. I just want to know what it would look like if I cut her out. Like, that's what's holding me back, is Jeff says no, where would she go? Like, should I need to kind of reevaluate our friendship.
Well, why don't you take a moment and reconnect, and if Bird or Bunny wants to help, they can. Why don't you just take a few deep breaths and just ask that question in your mind: do I need to cut Lynette out of my life?
So Bunny's telling me baby steps. So have a conversation. And ask her some of the questions that you're asking me here about life. And what's stopping her from everything, because she doesn't do anything.
How old is she?
52.
Okay, and then what was the answer? Yes, to cut her out at some point, or was it not an answer?
Not an answer.
Okay, well, and sometimes we're not supposed to know, because if we know that we should cut her out or that you shouldn't cut her out, then the way you approach her will change. Are you okay with not knowing?
Really, I'm fine.
Do you need any more clarity around the conversation or what to do after that? Okay. And just keep breathing. And let's ask more around the feeling imbalanced, or maybe we're complete in that, but the binge eating and just feeling a little out of balance, is there anything else that you need to know about that to move forward in ease?
No.
Okay, great. How about the question, what lifetime you're in and how many lives you've lived, or how many more? What's coming through for that?
It's not really relevant.
Yeah, I knew that, but it's okay. That's why we put irrelevant questions on this. You do realize, right? It's like we start to get into this state where we're like, this is always accessible to me. Oh my God, this is who I am. Why haven't I been doing this my whole life? Is there anything around that you're interested in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we've already talked about the pain in the ankles and the lower back. What about the SI joint on the right and then the upper right shoulder? Do we have more there to look into and address?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about that. You also missed a step and fell on the right side. It's all the right side.
Mm-hmm.
The right side is so much giving and not enough receiving. The right's the masculine side, which you probably know. So it makes sense that everything is paining you more on the right.
I'm just seeing more stretching and more grounding will help that.
Okay. Do you feel clear on the stretching? What that looks like? How much? How often? When?
I'm a little unclear.
Okay, just ask. This is the part of the spirit world. It's a free will planet, and even though your divine self and spirit guides are there to support you, they're not allowed to help or aid or assist or do energy stuff on you unless you specifically ask. So sometimes we see things and we see visions and get little signs, but it's really important to ask. So go ahead, whether it's in your mind, just kind of what you've been doing, ask the question about your SI and right side pain.
So I've been told to revisit the videos that a physical therapist sent me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was up on vacation in November, I don't remember where I was, doesn't matter, I went somewhere, and she was a massage therapist, and her claim to fame was, I'm basically a PT without the degree.
Mm-hmm.
And so we worked on all of my areas already. I just forgot that she sent me homework to do and that I never did it.
Good. So you know where the videos are. Are you clear on how often or that kind of a thing, or could you reach back out to her?
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Okay. Any more as far as like physical body challenges with your body? Do you want to ask more about self-love, just loving who you are and your image, what you look like, all of those things?
No.
Okay. How about your father and Brett? It's like two different people, but would you like to ask to connect with them today?
Yeah.
All right, who do you want to connect with first?
Brett.
All right, just tell me what happens if you start to make that connection.
He's telling me it's more of a feeling. You're not gonna see me as my old. I'm focusing on the old body form he was in.
Right. Yeah, that he's just energy now, but when guides appear, they're really only appearing how we think they should or how we would want them to appear. So you could even just focus on energy and just hear him or feel him.
The same with my dad too, but he's busy because he's a social butterfly, so he's all over the place.
That's cute. But they do have time to be in, they can be in multiple places at once. Do you want to ask any of them or say anything specific to either of them?
Just that I thought would like this one.
What are you sensing or feeling?
It's just that their energy is always protecting me.
Have you felt that in the past?
I have, but this is much stronger.
And would you like to feel their presence more often? And if so, can you please ask for that?
Yes, I would like the presence more often.
And do they seem to respond?
Yeah.
Are there any questions you want to ask them?
My dad, I had to help him.
Cross over.
Yeah, I just want him to know that I was doing it for him.
Yeah, that would have been really hard. What is he saying about that?
He said, I know you did, honey. That he raised a brave girl. Because we had our differences when I was younger. But as we got older, we were really good friends for like the last 7 years of his life. We became really close because he realized he probably did some healing of his own. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I didn't want him to think I was doing anything out of spite from the past. I was doing was in his best interest as his friend going forward. I didn't want to think like there was any malice, behind me helping him cross.
Yeah, and does he know that and that's been taken care of now? What else? Anything you want to know? Anything you want to understand about him being your father, your childhood, anything of that nature?
Yeah.
What about Brett? Would you want to ask about Brett and the connection that you've sensed this as like a past life brother?
Yeah. He just keeps saying you're stuck with me.
And how old was he 20 years ago when he passed?
40.
Do you want to ask why he chose to leave the earth plane at 40 years old? I'm curious.
No, he was younger than that.
Oh.
Because he said if we're both together by 40, by when I turned 40, because I was 2 years younger, he said we're gonna get married. So maybe like, I don't know, 30, maybe 36.
Try asking him why he left the earth plane at 36.
He told me before. It's because he of his addictions. He thought he was not as strong as his addictions.
But was that true, or was that his belief?
That was his belief.
And did he die from an accident, or were his addictions involved in the accident?
He kind of did it on purpose. He rode a motorcycle all the time wearing a helmet, but he decided that morning not to wear one. And he said, I saw the people pull out in front of me. I was done. I didn't want to move.
Well, and is he there? Like, is he available to ask questions too? I'm just asking out of curiosity. Was it painful to die?
No,
Was it scary?
not really.
What about the other people involved in the accident? Because the rest of their life would be dramatically changed from killing someone.
Yeah.
Were they just part of the soul contract somehow, or who was in the car? I assume a car or truck or whatever.
It was a car, but yeah, I mean, I guess soul contract. They made sure it was an elderly couple because they passed shortly after that.
So did it like harm them mentally or emotionally?
I don't see that.
Yeah, so they were probably just part of it. And interesting. What happened after you got hit? Did you immediately die? Was it a quick?
Yeah.
And then what happened? Like the soul ejects from the body?
Somewhat. And he wanted. He knew I would come to the scene once it got cleared, so he wanted to leave part of his soul for me.
So what was there?
Part of him. I just absorbed it into me.
So like energy? Like his body had been taken away?
Yes.
Were you able to see like still like the marks and things from the accident?
Yeah, I saw his blood stuff.
And what did you do? Did you stand there for a little while?
I sat there on the edge. I guess I was getting too far into the road because somebody appeared behind me and holding me back to the sidewalk.
Who was that?
I think it might have been a mutual friend of ours. I'm not sure.
You're probably in shock. And do you remember feeling anything? Like feeling this part that he left, the energy?
Yeah.
Interesting. You felt it at the time?
Yeah.
Is there any more advice that Brett or your dad or anybody else has just about, your fear of losing people? Because you have had a lot of traumatic loss. Is there anything else that they can share with you to help you live in peace?
Well, my dad's saying stuff like try not to overreact to things and just being like paternal about it,
Yeah, of course. He's still your dad after all.
And just go with the flow. And he's just happy that I am so open and that I'm doing this with you and I'm learning, how to be more in the moment and enjoy, being outside more and doing things like this.
Good. And what about Brett? Anything more he wants you to know about living in peace and letting go of fear of losing people and all this? What about companionship for you in the way of like love, partnership? Do you want to ask about that?
Okay. I'm being told that I'm kind of naive. Okay. I have street smart, but I'm kind of naive sometimes when people show me interest. Like, I feel like I'm not picking up on it.
Well, people have been inviting you to do things and you're just saying no and cleaning your house, so it kind of makes it hard too. It's funny, right? Like, this is what happens. We're like, so silly.
Okay, I just slow down a little bit.
That's
I got
fine.
it.
Okay.
Understood, yeah. So I just have to slow down a little bit.
Is there anything you need to do? Any places you need to go to meet the right people? Do you need to like date and practice, or are you just gonna meet this person and know?
Yeah, just be open. Just meet this person and know.
Is there a person for you?
I think so.
Does it feel like 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year? When will you meet this person?
I feel like it's gonna be less than a year.
I do too. Are there any signs coming through of something to know? Like, not necessarily a sure knowing, but like just maybe something to look for.
Yeah, my dad just keeps saying, because without my dad's faults, to be fair, he was abused when he was a child, so he just transitioned. He said some really good things, like on my arm, that tattoo was from him. He would always, when I would get upset, he's like, "Que sera, sera, what will be." And he's just telling me, like I told you when I was a kid, when you started dating, don't pay attention to what somebody says, pay attention to how they make you feel.
So he's saying now you'll know by how you feel.
Yeah.
He's reminding you of that.
Yeah.
Anything else you need to know about connecting in love?
Yeah.
Just out of my own curiosity, can you ask your dad why he chose a life where he was abused as a child?
Because he wanted to take the abuse so no soul would have to. He's selfless.
No, I don't think that's true for everyone. So I'm really asking from my own curiosity. Do some people choose a life of abuse as selfless, and do some people choose it because it's an experience, I guess you'd say, that they need to grow?
Perhaps.
Yeah, and that's usually the answer too. We don't know. Like, we don't know. I'm only here with you, myself and your dad at the moment, and so we can't ask someone else their specific situation. But I'm always interested in, it's a tough subject, but specifically sex trafficking and why someone might be born into that and die in that. And so I'm always interested in these types of scenarios.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to say thank you to your father for doing that. I certainly have not experienced that in this life. And now it's coming through for me to ask you, Tammy, with your dad present and your mom still alive, like, is there, there's always ancestral trauma that we're in essence breaking and shifting and changing, but is there anything that you need to know about your ancestors, your specific ancestral line, so that you can transmute and transcend that in your lifetime?
Nothing's really coming up.
That's fine. It means it's not needed or important or relevant. So let's ask about your life in service to others. You're working you have this nurse job. Have you answered your highest calling, your deepest purpose in this life?
I feel like I have.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to ask around that? It sounds like the rest of this life is just about you learning to be free and play and love and laugh and connect to the earth and travel and explore.
I'm just being told that any unresolved questions I may have will be answered in my meditations.
Yeah. Well, this is a really powerful connection that you're experiencing, and everything will be much more connected and easeful moving forward, and you'll have much less pain and things in your way. I know what you just said, but is there anything else that you want to ask? Because we still have some time and we're not in a hurry, so why don't you just breathe, and it can just be just general curiosity.
I just have a tissue.
Yeah, it's right here.
Take out with my body.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome. I'm just going to be here, and again, there's no hurry. I have some hours before the workshop I'm staying for tonight, so please take all the time you want, and if anything interesting happens, just let me know, because I'll be curious if it does.
Interesting. So, my body is a hummingbird.
Oh, nice.
I wanted a body and bird to meet. And the bird is saying, well, I'm Brett, because everyone called them a little hummingbird. I wanted them to meet. And my mom is the buddy. Because when they met, my mom said, don't you remember I busted you for smoking weed in the hallway in school? Because my mom was a school aide. And we went to the same high school together. And the tree is Jeff.
Oh.
So.
Interesting.
Just saying, like, we're always with you. You don't have to focus on us dying and leaving you, because we're always here.
That's so cool. Yeah, you've been able to talk to the souls today of people who are still alive. And you also had that experience where your wife and child were killed, but you were still in peace because you were so fulfilled. And that's what happens when we are living our highest truth, our greatest purpose. There is no sadness. This is called enlightenment, Tammy. That's what happens when you are so full of truth and life. This is what happens. We no longer fear. We celebrate people's crossing because they're going home. We don't necessarily feel all of the sadness that we're afraid we will feel. I was curious, are you coming back to Earth? I don't know if you want to know that, but that was one of your questions.
It's undetermined.
Well, because it's a choice, right?
Yeah.
So
well, like, I don't know why this bunny likes coffee so much, but every time I go to ask him a question, he's like leaning up on a post, like water with a coffee cup. Just so laissez-faire.
I like this bunny.
I know. So, he's always got, you know, humor. And so I said, am I coming back to this life? He goes, you can go wherever you want, honey.
Well, that's the truth. We're not forced to come here. Are you more curious about why you chose this life, that up to this age you seem to have some struggles? Like, do you want to know why you chose it? Maybe you know now?
Because I'm curious. I was just really curious. I wanted to learn a bunch of different things.
And are you succeeding in that?
Yeah. I'm just saying, I hope I'm not as curious next time.
Are they saying anything? Or?
Not really.
Yeah. Well, it just will be up to you. I've heard people having what they call a vacation life. I don't know if I've lived a vacation life. I'm always some kind of healer. I've been like beheaded and burned and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And this life feels the best though, because this is like one of my first lives where I get to just speak openly and I'm not like ridiculed. It's interesting. But you keep having your experience and just tell me anything interesting that comes up.
I'm just being told to simplify my life, make it easier. You don't have to make it harder than it is.
Mm-hmm.
I have everything that I need now, here. To say, let's say money doesn't buy happiness. I would have to agree with that because I've been really poor and really happy. And now that I have more things, I was less happy, but I was complicating things. And the things that I need, I basically already have.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess I just needed a reminder,
Yeah.
Lessons that were given to me today.
For the sake of the recording and listening back, what have you been experiencing while you were breathing?
and flying around and then landing on one place and exploring that place out and then flying somewhere else and exploring somewhere else, and then sometimes I would land on a cloud and then I would switch to Jello, and then I would just kind of turn into Jello and then turn into myself again, and all kinds of like really fluid things.
And how does your body feel? Is that 70%, 75% healing? Was that complete already? Okay, I figured, but I forgot to ask earlier.
I still can feel it, like, it feels like, well, it is energy, but it feels electric, but in a good way.
Like in your feet and ankles?
Like a TENS unit everywhere. And warm. Not so stuck.
Good. How about SI and shoulder?
It feels good. I can't really feel anything out there.
Great.
Just warmth.
Good. Well, and that'll probably continue. I mean, it will continue. What I meant is you might probably still feel sensations from time to time. It's said that they will continue to work on you in your sleep, like you've made this connection. So unless you choose to sever it, which why would anyone do that? Because it feels so good, you'll just have more and more interesting, auspicious, wonderful things begin to happen. And do you feel complete?